Okay, thank you for watching the video. I'm Masa, Professor of Earthquake Research Institute, University of Tokyo. Today, I have two guests, two students from Germany, and maybe I should spend some time making conversation. Okay, so can you introduce yourself first, maybe Luisa?
Hi, I'm Luisa. I'm a PhD student from the Karlsruhe Institute of Technology in Germany. I'm enrolled in the GRACE graduate program.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marcel.
Yeah, my name is Marcel. I'm also a PhD student from the Karlsruhe University. I'm also part of GRACE, the group that funded our stay here.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think we will talk about our work later.
Sure. All right, first thing is, how did you get to know my laboratory, my institution things? Can you just briefly explain this one?
Yes, in April 23, we both visited the ETU in Vienna, where we met Yoko Terwara from the international office doing outreach work there, and we got to talking to her, and later we emailed her because we had a great time talking to her, and she connected us to you.
Okay, so maybe I should thank Yoko-san about that. But what kind of, maybe she just introduced a brief overview of the Earthquake Research Institute, or maybe briefly my research activity. But what aspect did you make up your mind on what aspect? Because you knew some sort of what I was doing. I'm talking about 1 year ago.
So for me, basically, it was the fact that you already worked on topics that are familiar to the topics I'm working on. Also, that you hear the Earthquake Research Institute, and seismicity was a topic that was a little bit underrepresented in my work, and so it was really exciting to get somewhere where there are experts on these topics.
Okay, so you already knew what I was doing, like related to your topic, like slip tendency.
Yes.
Okay.
So Yoko suggested you, and then I read up on your work.
All right. What about you, Marcel?
It was similar. So I checked what you did, and although most of your research is not directly connected to mine, I saw that you have been working a lot with drillings. And since I'm working on borehole integrity, I thought that there might be some overlap.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. All right. So maybe I thank you for your interest to visit, but maybe you have other factors to determine to come to Japan. All right. So at least you can have the funding from your university, which is good. But how did you? What factors made you decide to come to Japan or ERI? Maybe it's not only research. You have some, drivers to get you to Japan.
So I think there were definitely two motives. First of all, we already talked about that fact that you're doing great research here and that we got a connection here, so that was one part. But then of course Japan is like a super interesting country, and like I think most people would like to visit it and see it. So
I'm just curious, what is your specific, interesting places? What kind of?
Are we talking about the academic aspect or like the local?
No, the sightseeing things,
Sightseeing. Yes.
Whatever.
So for Japan, I think there are many reasons. There's beautiful nature here.
Okay.
There's fascinating culture that is really different from what we have in Germany. Regarding, for example, like all the temples and the shrines.
Okay.
But also like the big city life that is really different from what we experienced in Germany. Like Tokyo is completely different. It's a really fascinating city. So I think there's really just so much going on here. Also, just no monkeys.
All right. So Marcel, maybe so. I heard that you visited not only Tokyo, but you visited many places in Japan. Like what?
So Yeah, so we traveled almost every weekend. So we visited a lot of places.
Yeah.
So last weekend we went to Nico, which
Yeah, you
was
said that. Yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, we went hiking there, and they also have a lot of nice temples and shrines in the city.
Mhm.
I think our favorite place was Yakushima.
Yakushima.
Yeah.
Okay.
The forests there are really, really beautiful with ancient cedars that are
Mhm.
hundreds and thousands of years old. So that was really nice.
But I also think Nachikatsura, where we had the IODP workshop,
Yeah.
was
Yeah. Sure.
was really nice.
Mhm.
Like, it was a great opportunity
Mhm.
to get there.
Okay, well, just at some speaking about the Nachi Katsura thing, we had an international workshop in the end of March, and then I invited you to just it's related to the scientific ocean drilling for the next thing, and at least partly the Marcel is interested in the ocean drilling anyway, but also so it was a good opportunity for you to visit, and okay. Then, well, speaking about the Yakushima things, going back, how did you get there? How did you move around?
So,
If you.
I mean, this was during our vacation, so we went to Kyoto first.
Kyoto. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then from there to Kagoshima,
Mm.
and then we took a ferry to Yakushima. So it's not like we went to Yakushima in one day from Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was stepwise,
Mhm.
and then similar on our way back.
Okay.
So we traveled back to Kagoshima, then I think Himeji was it?
Himeji.
Yeah.
You went
Right?
to Himeji
Yeah.
Castle?
Kumamoto.
Ah, right, yeah, no,
Kumamoto.
Kumamoto first,
Kumamoto,
yeah, and,
yeah.
and then we
Mhm.
did Mount Aso, etc. And then, yeah, we went to Himeji and then Osaka again, so this region, yeah.
During a stay here or during visit in Japan, how did you find the communication with local people?
It was difficult.
All
Like,
right.
Our Japanese is very limited, and I think Japanese are quite shy about using English. But it worked out at the end. It is
Okay.
like you can use Google Translate and.
Did you use this translator thing?
Yes.
Yes.
It worked?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, wow,
mostly.
that's good.
And people are really helpful. So.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was-
Sometimes we are afraid to ask questions because if you ask somebody where's this and that,
Mhm.
then will not just point you towards that, they will just walk with you like 5 minutes.
Oh.
And then you
And-
cause like a lot of trouble for
Yeah.
people that you don't want to travel actually. So, but everybody was super helpful and super nice. So
Okay, so they want to help, but
Yes.
they really, some people really have the problem in understanding what you're saying. And then, so they maybe would like to take an action when they understand what you want to do. Then they just, okay, that's good. That was good for you. All right. Okay, so maybe we should go back to the science again. Then. ちょっとじゃあしましょうか。Alright. And maybe we should start talking each of because you each has different project. It's like how long? You stayed 3 months.
yes.
It's short. It's too short, but coming, leaving day after tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe for kind of wrap up, it's not the finish of the project, but the midterm wrap up things for each of you the project. Okay. So can you here maybe starting with Luisa, maybe, and if we can,
So just a quick overview.
and maybe I can edit later. Take a break. Okay. Maybe not. Okay, you can open. これだとあれか、映らなくなるかな。大丈夫ですかね。
So maybe we could just. Okay.
You don't need to explain in detail, but so you're going to use this one?
Is it okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. So before I came here in Germany, I worked in subtenancy, as we already talked about. So the knowledge about it was one of the reasons I came here, and the project we came up with for me to work here on in these 3 months was basically in regards to the project
Yep.
in the Landkreisraff, where we looked at the subducted basement that
Mhm.
included the geometry of a seamount,
Yeah.
and to calculate the slip tendency in this area, which is basically the it's a measure for the reactivation potential. So how likely an earthquake is in this area.
Okay.
And I used the geometry that I was provided with, and I assumed different stress states, which is basically the first thing you need to look at in order to get an idea of the reactivation potential. And I compared that to the seismicity that we saw. And the interesting thing or the exciting thing is that we saw that the slip tendency, sort of reactivation potential, does not match the seismicity very well that we see. So this means we have some additional aspects going on here, like maybe we see some influence from pore pressure, or some influence of the seamount geometry on the local stresses or something like that. So there's definitely more potential for future work on that.
Okay. So you made a very quick, very fast talk. Maybe I can repeat. So where is it?
So this is on the
Which
this is sea floor.
yes, but in
south
which
to-
area?
So it is south of like this is Kyushu basically here somewhere. Yes.
That's
So
enough.
this is the
Yes.
Kyushu island here.
Mhm.
So
So you said subduction
yes.
plate and seamount. Where is the seamount?
The seamount is somewhere in this area here.
Okay. Yeah. And where is the trench?
Which
About.
trench?
The trench axis. Where is the trench axis?
This one.
No, it's around here.
Here. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
It's already
Yeah.
subducted.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Yes.
And what are these black dots mean?
The black dots are the seismic events, so the
Okay.
tremors. So here in this red circle, there are a lot of seismic events, a lot
Mhm.
of tremors. So this is where we would expect high slip tendency, which is not necessarily where we.
Just repeat. So you said when you have this black spot, this high seismic area, you should expect the slip tendency is higher than
Yes.
elsewhere. And you find, how did you find this place has high slip tendency?
No,
Did you? No. Okay.
no, they're quite low
Mhm.
at most areas compared to.
So that's weird, right? It's
Yes.
kind of, yeah. And what is our current interpretation for that?
So one aspect that we
Mhm.
suspect might be increased pore pressure in this area,
Mm-hmm.
which we looked at. How high they would have to be.
Yeah.
So we would need quite substantial pore pressures in this area,
Mhm.
or over pore pressures to explain the slip tendency.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. No, we are still in the middle of our project, but
Yes.
so far your current interpretation is, if you have a high seismicity, these are tremors. It's a small earthquake in here, but still it's an earthquake. If you have this seismicity and if you have a low slip tendency because of the geometry,
Yes.
you need to have other factors like high pore pressures, which may or may not be true because seismologists always say these tremors are caused by the fluid or fluid migration without any further evidence. So this kind of estimation may add some insights into the cause of these tremors. And these are obviously related to the sort of geometry of subduct seamount. Right?
Yeah.
Then what is your future scope beyond this one? What is your next step?
Yes. So I think a 3D geomechanical model would be quite helpful.
Geomechanical model.
Yes.
Okay.
To get a better grasp on how the seamount, the subducted one, will influence the local stresses,
Okay.
to see how big the impact of that would be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would also help us in getting an understanding of the pore pressure.
So it's still preliminary, but I hope that maybe if we can continue this work, we may come up with some additional information to contribute to the understanding of the tremors. Okay, thank you very much. All right, then I should move to Marcel. If we can. Okay. All right, please. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I thought I would just start with what I usually do in Germany.
Yes.
Yeah, just a very brief overview.
Mhm.
So, I've been working on borehole integrity, as I mentioned before, especially when it comes to underground gas storages, because that's a huge topic in Germany at the moment. And yeah, that means that gas is injected and extracted through a borehole
Yeah.
all the time.
Mhm.
So it's interesting to know what these pressure and also temperature changes do to the cement, steel, rock compound of the borehole. And I try to simulate this cyclic loading with this autoclave system. There's another one, but that's I guess that one is
Yeah,
easier
yeah.
to explain. So it's just
It's autoclave.
yeah. Basically, there are just two pressure chambers and a cemented or a steel casing in the middle that can be filled with cement, and then I can perform different kinds of experiments on that.
Yes.
I guess that's enough for now.
Right. Sure.
Okay, so then it's not working. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wrong button.
Okay.
So, so I came here for different reasons. So one reason was just to be away from my group, not because I don't like my group, but because I think it's always good. No, my group is great, but this group is also great. So I'm very glad I came here. And I mean, I could have gone to France or something like that, but I think it's also beneficial to come to a very, very different country.
Okay.
And learn more about how science is done here, and especially Japan was very interesting because you have great geoscientists. Which makes sense because of the earthquakes, of course. And another reason was to connect to a lot of people here. So that's why I was very glad that we had two opportunities to visit Jamstack. The first one was to visit the Chikyu, which is this large drilling ship here, and that was really great. So they showed us everything on the ship basically over the course of one day. So for example, that's the outside, and I think that's really impressive. There's this large drilling tower, and on the right side, the underside of it, they also showed us all the labs inside, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show pictures here. So just show the outside.
Sure.
There was also a lot of discussion, and it was great. I learned a lot there. And the second time we visited the headquarters of Jamstack, which was also great. So it started with some presentations from their side where they answered a lot of questions I had. And then they showed us around the different buildings and the equipment they have. For example, these remotely operated vehicles, and also on the left there's this it's a drilling robot basically that is really cool. That can just you can send it to the seafloor, get some samples there. I've never seen something like this before, so that was also very interesting.
Your project.
Yeah, exactly. So what I did here was not directly related to boreholes, at least for now. I mean, you're planning to do some drilling there. But this was just to learn something new, which was also great. And it was about converting P wave velocities to porosity. You can't really see it that well at the moment, but there's this blue curve that's basically it goes like this, and it has a small bump here.
Can just say that. So the horizontal axis is porosity. And the vertical axis is?
It's basically it's effective stress, but that's basically depth. So and this. So the blue porosity was calculated directly from the P wave velocity, and the orange and green curves are fitted. And I mean, it's a very simple formula, so it can fit the curve perfectly, of course, but it works quite well in the lower part here, which is interesting to us. And this bump here the orange curve is not really a fit to the bump, but you can see that if we shift the curve to the left, by increasing or decreasing the pore pressure,
Yeah.
then we get this curve here that fits to the bump more or less. So that was the basic idea for this. That's just one location. Then I transferred this to 2D basically, so there are 162 different locations here. So where the white part ends, that's the seafloor. This is the depth again.
Yes.
And the color is, so that's basically the difference between the blue curve and the green one. So it's the converted porosity based on the P wave velocity minus the values of this fitted curve. And that could be explained by overpressure. So I mean we don't know exactly, but so for now that's just a difference in porosity, but it could be related to overpressure. And you can see, of course, on the top there are more or less huge differences because that's in the sediment, so that's to be expected. But the deeper ones, like here in this area, or maybe here, and also here, they should be caused by other effects. You can see.
No,
yeah, great. Okay,
that is right.
Yeah, and like I said, that might be related to pore pressure differences. And I think in the future, I will look further into this. So this is just the picture without much interpretation for now. We just tried to compare it to a seismic profile, which. Yeah, but that's not complete, so I guess you can really show it now.
Sure. So this is a seismic profile in which area?
A bit north of Luisa's area.
Yes.
So it's, I guess we can't really see the map here.
But we just say in the world, right?
Yeah.
In the Kyushu, right?
Yeah.
So on this graph, on this profile, which direction the subduction plate subduction is going on? It's subducting.
This is east-west, roughly, the profile.
East-west. Okay.
Yeah. Subduction happens like this.
Like from here to here, right?
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you could see it in the deeper. I know it's not a picture. Yeah, but yeah. So if you go deeper, then it's like.
Okay. Sure. So, all right. Maybe two questions. One is, how do you prove? We are not sure if this is true or not, but how can we possibly prove this potential overpressures?
I mean, by drilling.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant, or?
Yeah, drilling is the best way. We have a plan. We have a plan for drilling, proposing plan. And do you know how, if we do the drilling, how do you get the pressure value? Or how do you get, connect to prove this one?
You mean how you get the pore pressures? Or in the borehole?
If we have a drilling, and whatever, drilling or observatory or whatever, the logging, how do you?
So I never really thought about it. I guess so. I always imagined you could just do it by with pressure sensors.
Yeah, but during a drilling, the pressure is disturbed by this drilling fluid.
Rotation. So you want to do logging while drilling? Not afterwards? Yeah.
Well, yeah. You're not very familiar, right?
Yeah. Not with this logging technique.
Yeah, sure. It's not easy to know the in-situ pressure because you have to monitor it after the drilling. They put the pressure sensors. One easy way because this value is direct to porosity, you convert it from this value from. You derive this value from.
From the P wave velocity.
Yes. So if I'm just guessing that when the drilling, if you can get a P wave profile, it may help, right?
Yeah.
May or may not, I don't know. If by the drilling you didn't find any velocity anomaly, then this one may be due to overpressure. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Okay, all right. Second one is I forgot. But Okay. What do you think is a possible if these are overpressures? You know, what is the potential cause? What the mechanism to make this happen?
Yeah, I mean, so you already mentioned that there's no heat flow in that
Okay.
area.
Mhm.
So if that is true, then it's probably not just related to flow.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, you already mentioned when you talked about this, it's kind of hard to explain how you have pore pressure anomalies without any heat flow.
You have to say it by your own word.
Yeah.
You cannot rely on what I said before the video.
Yeah. So again, I'm not very familiar with this because I've been more looking at salmon and stuff like that. I could imagine that it's also could be caused by tectonics, but I guess it depends on how tight the formations are. So if compaction happens in any direction, then of course pore pressures could increase, but I'm not sure how realistic that is because it's still in the sediment or close to the sediment. So
Yeah.
I guess the permeability of the rocks here won't be low enough for that, I would assume.
All right.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, this shallow, if this is true, shallow overpressure, the permeability is not low enough to preserve the pore fluid.
I would assume, yeah. I mean, I don't know the permeability values here.
Sure. All right. Well, sorry, we didn't make any prediction about but the thing is, this is only couple of hundreds meters below. It's very shallow, so we are not sure if it is true or not. Maybe we are not sure if it is true or not. Maybe it depends on the modeling of the berth itself. But if this is true, maybe we can connect this shallow overpressure to the fluid flow that came from deep, and then somehow it's trapped. I don't know if it's possible or not. Then the origin of this fluid, if it came from deep part, may be the source region of the slow earthquakes, which Luisa tried to estimate in terms of the slip tendency. Okay, the problem is that the subducting seamount is about 5 or 10 kilometers much deeper. Like this is 5 kilometers. So we need to find a way for the pathway for the fluid. If it's true, if this has a overpressure here, then fluid may come up to make these local pore pressure, but we don't know. Okay, so maybe that's drives us we need a new drilling or either surface observation of potential the seepage of the waters, the fluid. Okay. So both of you are just although it's only 3 months, very short stage, and you also made a great visit for the sightseeing many places, but still you made a great job on this project. So maybe later we can keep talking, we keep collaboration, and then maybe we can come up with some, I don't know, some suggestion proposal for this mechanism of why this slow earthquake occurs, or how these overpressure, if it's true, be caused. And like Marcel, you said that we have a problem on the heat flow problem. We have the heat flow is very low, but if we have the fluid going up, heat flow should increase. So you have a big problem with that. But maybe by doing this kind of step-by-step decimation, we can come up with some feasible, favorable solution for that in the future. Okay. So that's about it. Anything you want to say before you leave?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
my time here has been great.
Wow.
So I'm really glad that it was possible for me to come here. So yeah, as you mentioned, both traveling and also science here was very exciting. And I'm also very thankful for the international office and Yoko, and also for what you organized for us. So
Wow.
yeah, I think this is a great place to come with a also very great working atmosphere.
I hope that your visit is helpful for your life from now. Okay, I really hope. Any comment from?
I would just like to second that. Thank you
Okay.
for the great time. Thank you,
Alright.
Yoko, as well, and
Alright.
also maybe thank you to Grace for
Mhm.
funding this.
Yeah, that's a good
Oh
point.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's very important. Yeah, sure, of course. All right, so it's kind of long time. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very for staying with us for the 3 months. That was really nice. And please keep in touch. Of course. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. はい、all right. では終わります。おしまい。